Get social with us. Follow us on Instagram at Goodtaste TV. Hi, everyone. Welcome to Good Taste for the Soul. I'm Tangi Patton. Today, you're going to meet Pauly Tamez. He's an artist in Texas who says his passion for art and his purpose in life didn't come together until later in life. He's a very gifted guy, and he shares that gift not only with seniors who he teaches to pursue their artistic talents, but he works a lot with veterans. He too is a veteran, and he suffered from depression. He says it's been something he's dealt with his entire adult life, but he looked for ways to deal with it other than drugs and alcohol. Well, he's using this gift with his art to help other veterans. He offers free classes, listens, tells his story, and says there really is a healing happening, he feels, in his classes with these veterans. So I hope you enjoy my conversation with Pauly Tamez as much as I enjoyed hearing from him. Pauly, welcome to Good Taste for the Soul. I'm thrilled to have you on.
Thank you. I'm thrilled to be here.
Well, the way you and I met, I kind of sought you out because I bought one of your paintings. I didn't know who you were, but I brought it with me to show you. This is the one I have.
Nice. Okay,
Yeah.
good.
And I absolutely love sunsets. So if you scrolled through the photos on my phone, you'd find a plethora of sunsets. And I think you do beautiful sunsets, and that one caught my attention. And after I bought your painting, I guess somehow I started getting your newsletters, and I found that I really enjoyed getting them, and I enjoyed reading them. It wasn't just a bunch of advertisements for classes or anything like that. You often write a little bit about yourself or what's going on and how it's affecting your work. So that's how I got to know you. I just kind of had a feeling that you were someone that would be interesting to talk to. Everybody has a story, right?
That's right.
Everybody has a story. How long have you been an artist?
I think I was born an artist.
Yeah.
I've been painting since I was about 7 years old. I just remember, I don't know what the occasion was. It could have been my birthday. It could have been Christmas. It could have been just my mom, doing something fun for me. But I remember getting one of those little bitty 6 or 7 color watercolor sets with the little brush in it, with in the plastic thing that you close. And because I used to draw all the time, and then I figured out I could color my pictures. Crayons were doing okay, but I remember somebody getting me that little watercolor set, and I was just fascinated with it. And I started painting. I thought, wow, this is really cool. I can color now.
And were you good at it? I mean, was it clear to your family early on, this kid has a gift?
I don't know. I think maybe it scared my dad a little bit because he didn't want me to be an artist. He wanted me to learn a skill. He wanted me to excel in math, science, or something technical like he did. And I think he was concerned that I would be that guy down by the river with a beer in my hand all my life instead of being a productive member of society. So he really pushed me to go to school and to learn. But I think it was evident that was a passion of mine. And it took me years to develop that passion.
Well, your career path went in a totally different direction, didn't it? It had nothing to do really with art.
It did. I was, I have a very analytical brain, which I'm blessed with because it helps me in my work. It helps the creative part of my brain. So I was a financial planner for 34 years, and I was in financial services and hated every minute of it. I quit 5 times, and finally, the last time I left the business, I was actually laid off, and I decided then that I wanted to use my creativity and and still help people. So I went into the real estate business, and I loved that. That was a great career choice for me. Um, After 4 years of actually selling real estate, I started recruiting for a real estate company. Again, being a creative, it allowed me the flexibility to not only excel at my work, which I loved doing, but it also gave me the ability after work to do this, to
Yeah.
paint.
Well, you have an interesting resume. So you were a veteran. Thank you for your
Yes.
service. And
Thank you.
once you left all of the, I guess, business world behind, you decided to totally focus on your art.
That and so being a veteran, um, number one, we all have all of us veterans have PTSD
Mhm.
one way or another. We were all of a sudden thrown out of civilian society into boot camp where somebody was yelling at us all the time, and for a lot of us, like myself, it was our first time away from home, and it was scary,
Mhm.
to be there. But I realized, well, I didn't realize. I discovered early on in my um, military career, which only lasted 4 years. I only did one enlistment, but I learned that um, on top of all this uh, trauma, I discovered I had a depressive personality. I had a what's called a major depressive disorder, and it's come with me all my life. But I've learned how to manage that without doing drugs or alcohol,
Mhm.
and I really believe that um, my passion, my passion for art, suddenly a couple of years ago met my purpose in doing art. And it also merged with my mission, which now is to create art and to help people create art so that they can manage their PTSD, their stress, their depression, their anxiety, addiction issues. It's not only an outlet for me, but as I teach that, as I show veterans that they can use color to connect their brain to their heart and
Mhm.
to heal, um, that gives my passion purpose. That's my mission.
I think that's a beautiful thing. Do you correct me if I'm wrong, but you hold classes for veterans, right?
I
Or
do.
invite veterans to come?
I do, and I'm in a unique position where I retired well, so I have a good income. I don't have to sell art, and it gives me the ability to purchase art supplies. So currently, I'm set up for classes of 12 veterans. I have 12 easels, and I purchase the canvases cheaply. Um, and I've got all the paints and all the brushes and all the painting knives and things that I need. So um, I'm able to hold these classes for veterans and not charge them anything. Uh, I just tell
Wow.
them, just come, just bring yourself. You don't have to bring anything else. If you want to paint, you can. If you don't, you can sit there and watch. But every single veteran participates, and every single veteran paints what's on their heart, and they come up with some fantastic pieces.
Wow. What is your feedback that you get from them? I would imagine you've had a lot.
I do. And a lot of them will say to me, this felt really good. I'm really glad that I can finally, tell my story without having to tell my story.
Yeah.
Um, I've had some say, I didn't know I could do this. And what a relief that
Wow.
must be, to all of a sudden discover that you have this gift in you, and you can express that gift onto a canvas with color. Color has a lot of meaning, and color is what connects our synapses in our brains to connect with our heart. It's healing. Um, you can use a dark black color to represent turmoil. You can use bright colors like yellow and orange to represent joy and happiness. You can use blue, light blues to create a sense of hope. Green always means growth. White, purity. Red can be turmoil, or it could be love. There's so many things that we can express with color. And by doing that, it helps us to get our emotions out. It helps us
Mhm.
to heal, because the synapses again in our brain are connecting, and they're sending messages to our heart that's healing.
Wow. Have any of the veterans told you they feel when they came, they were horribly depressed? And because having dealt with depression all your life, all your adult life at least, I'm sure you recognize the symptoms and you understand.
You know, nobody's ever said that directly to me, but at the beginning of every session, I always tell my story. And I talk
Mhm.
about depression, I talk about PTSD and anxiety and addiction issues. So at the end of the session, I always have veterans tell me, "Thank you for telling me your story. I could relate to it." But
Yeah.
they don't ever tell me, "Hey, I'm depressed too."
Yeah.
I'm that guy that'll I'm an open book. I'll tell you, yeah, I've got a major depressive disorder. It's okay, because I know how to deal with it, and I have constructive ways of dealing with it, and I stay above and I stay in front of that depression all the time.
Well, you have an interesting collection of work. I showed you the sun. I guess this is a sunset. It struck me as a sunset. I guess it could have been a sunrise, but
It more than likely is a sunrise, but it could be a sunset.
either
It's the colors that, are
yeah,
the same.
either are majestic in their own right. So whatever it is beautiful. And you've done a lot of sunrises. Um, you sent me some of your work, and a lot of it I've seen because you have it displayed publicly in places and whatnot. You've kind of transforms not the right word, but transitioned a little bit, and or maybe you've always done abstract.
Mm.
I started noticing more of your abstract work.
Hmm.
Any particular
So
reason why?
I I retired in 2023 from the workforce.
Hmm.
And the day after my retirement, I woke up and thought, what am I going to do today? Because I don't have any phone calls to make, no emails to answer. If I don't want to look at my email, I don't have to.
Yeah.
I don't have any meetings to attend or anybody to report to except myself. What am I going to do today? And I thought, I have always wanted to do abstract art, but I never thought that I didn't know how. I
Yeah.
just didn't know how, because I couldn't let go. And that day I took a 3 foot by 3 foot canvas, put it up on my easel, and I attacked the easel with color. And I created this piece that was just, I thought, phenomenal. I just thought it was, I loved it so much. And it made me feel so good that I could do something on an abstract level. And when you think about it, everything in nature has an abstract quality to it. Everything in a painting is nothing. It's nothing but shapes and colors.
Hmm.
And sometimes I create representational work like this behind me. Other times, um, it's totally different and totally abstract, just shapes and colors. Um, and it doesn't represent anything except my thoughts and emotions. And that's really what happened on that day, is that my thoughts, my emotions, my feelings, and everything inside of me started to come out. onto a canvas with color, and it excited me. And I knew right then, I'm an abstract artist. I'm an expressionist. I can do this. This is really cool. And I sold that piece. I sold that piece the same place where you bought that sunset.
Is that right?
Yep.
Oh, that's so
I
cool.
hung it there, and it didn't hang there but for a couple of days, and somebody bought it.
Well, that was reaffirming,
Yes,
right? Oh,
absolutely.
beautiful. I'm curious because I went to your studio a couple of days ago and got to see, a lot of your work that I hadn't seen hanging. And in your abstracts, you often have a distinct, I say distinct, it's not distinct, but an absolute form that is a crucifix, a cross in them. And it's not just on one that I saw that. And you said that's not necessarily, it wasn't intentional when you sat down and were working on the piece, right?
Right. Somebody noticed that. I had not noticed it, but somebody else noticed it and said, Pauly, you have a cross in all of your abstract paintings. And as I began to look at them, I thought, hey, there's a cross there. And usually it's right in the center of the painting.
Yeah.
Um, in my abstract work, whenever I use yellow, that represents me. And a lot of times I notice that that cross is a yellow mark, and it's got maybe white going through it or red going through it. It's sometimes blue. That cross is always, not always, a lot of times that cross is in yellow.
Well, I'm curious, what role do you think your faith plays in your work, if any?
It's I believe that my work is totally God-given. It's driven by the spirit that lives within me, and it's what drives my passion, and it's what my passion. When I married it to my purpose, it's the purpose that I believe God gave me, and it became my mission. Those three things together is what drives me. So my spirituality, my connection to
Mhm.
the spirit realm, my connection to the God of the universe is what drives my passion. And it allows me, uh, it's what's allowed me to heal. It's what allows me to teach, uh, coach, and bring healing to other people. And it also, the other part of that purpose is in helping others. I love to do live paintings, and I love to give my art away, but not just give it away to anybody. I give it to nonprofit organizations that are raising money for, to help other people. And sometimes, it's one thing to give money, but it's another thing to give a gift that's going to produce money for that
Mhm.
purpose. And I could have given a gift, maybe three or four, $500 to an organization, but if they get one of my paintings and they sell it for $800, then they've really done well. You know.
Yeah.
And what did it cost me? Something like this maybe cost me $50 to do the canvas, price of the canvas and a little paint. But it's my way of being able to use the blessings that I've gotten to bless others. And then they in turn will take that money and bless other people. So
Yeah.
it's all part of my purpose. It's all part of my mission.
Oh, I love that. I'm sitting here scrolling through some of your work, and some of your abstracts, some are very definitely very contemporary, but some it almost looks like you took a sunset concept or a sunrise concept and you just kind of let the colors take you where they would. Um, they're really
So,
pretty.
like you told me, you love sunsets. And a part of that is that those colors are very soothing.
Mm-hmm.
People love to sit and watch a beautiful sunset, or if you're crazy like me, get up early in the morning and you watch the sun rise. They're the same colors. There's those colors that are coming through the atmosphere in waves, waves of uh, of of light, and those waves of light touch our eyes and go through our lens and hit our optical nerve, and our optical nerve translates what's going on, but those colors are soothing.
Yeah.
So I like to use those soothing colors in my abstract work. They're meaningful. I did one last night at an event. It was a charity event for an organization that helps um, women and children who have been displaced due to domestic abuse.
Oh, really?
And I chose to use those exact colors. And somebody came up as I was painting it and said, "Oh, that makes me feel so good. I love that piece. Are you going to sell it?" And I said, "Sure, I'll sell it." And she said, "Well, how much is it?" And I told her, this normally I would, sell it for this amount. And she said, "Well, would you consider an offer?" And I said, "Whatever you offer, 100% of it is going to go to this organization." And so she made me an offer, which was lower than what I normally would sell that piece for. But 100% of that went to the organization.
Uh,
It was those colors that drew her and her husband
yeah.
in.
I get it. I get it. And I look at so many. There was one you showed me the other day that I'll put up on the screen when we edit this. And it was the brushstrokes had a little Van Gogh-esque look to them and a very gold sky. And you had an interesting story behind this painting with the beautiful flowers.
That was again a kind of a dark period for me. I don't remember everything that was going on, but I do remember some of the things that I was dealing with at the time. It's during COVID,
Mhm.
and when we were all isolated, and I just remember I wish I could just be around people where I could hug them, and I get energy from that. But I had been also at that time, I was doing a lot of study on one of my favorite artists, Vincent van Gogh, who I can relate to because he was depressed also.
Yeah.
He had
Yeah.
a very tumultuous life, and he was just, people thought he was crazy, but the man was a genius, and he painted all the time. And that was one of the things I was doing, was painting every single day. Just I was locked up. What else could I do? I had to paint. Well, this one particular night, I had this very vivid, colorful dream. And I always dream in color. So I had this very vivid, colorful dream. I woke up at 2:30 in the morning, and I just could not get the image out of my head. It was me standing in a garden, and I was painted as Van Gogh would have painted me. And I was standing in this garden, and the whole garden was painted like Van Gogh would have painted. And I couldn't get that image out of my head. So I took a big canvas and just started painting what I remembered seeing, and came out with this beautiful work that I call um, the Dream Garden. And in the Dream Garden, there's colors in there that represent prosperity and wealth. There's a dead tree on one side and a live tree on the other that
Yeah. I see.
represent death and life. The sun in this particular painting is setting. And in that setting, that what it was telling me was, this part of your life is coming to an end, and there's something new ahead for you. So it gave me a lot of hope. And all these flowers that were in the garden represented gifts that I either give away or people purchase from me. The nice thing about flowers is, when you pick a flower, it doesn't kill the plant. Another flower grows
Yeah.
and it multiplies. And so the green, of course, represent life, and the brown in that represents our connection to the earth. Purple is royalty, which I am of royal heritage because of who I am, because of who he is.
Right.
And so there's a lot of symbolism, symbolism in that color. There's a lot of symbolism in the painting itself. And it's the one painting in my house that I will never sell. It's not for sale. It means so much to me. In fact, when we built our house, I had that space that it's in built
Oh
specifically
my.
for that painting.
Well, it is beautiful. It really is. And
Mhm.
while I put these on the screen, I'll assure everyone in person, uh, it's even more striking. It certainly got my attention that day I was there. I was like, oh, wow, this is really cool. You have another one you did as well. Let me scroll down to find it. It looks like another perhaps sunrise or sunset, but again, it's those beautiful little brush strokes and I don't know. There's a beautiful
I think I
simplicity.
know which one you're talking about. Again, very Van Gogh-ish. I
Mhm.
love that artist, and he was a genius in the way that not only he used color, but the way he applied his paint, which is a technique that's called. I'm gonna forget the name of that term, but it's a very thick layer of brush stroke that he did, and I wish I could remember the name of it
Oh,
now.
Polly, I forget things so many. I think I probably forget more things than I remember, so I get it. No worries, but it is pretty. I'll put it up as well. They're just beautiful. I also kind of got the sense in your newsletters because I've been getting them a while now that you encourage people um, looking for something else. Like sometimes it can be a retirement and they're looking for something else, or like, maybe a job's gone away. They're looking for something else. Maybe they've never really done what it is they really wanted to do. A lot of people work but don't love and feel passionate about their work. And
It's I so again, a part of my mission is to encourage people, to encourage others, and I one of the other gifts I have is writing. I love to write. I write every single day.
oh
I
wow,
keep a journal, but I have a purpose. It's not just dear diary, I did this today. It's
yeah,
I have a purpose, and I'm thinking all the time about what that purpose is, and I write about that. One of the we're in a constant state of transition. We're going from one day to the next, and hopefully it's on an upward trajectory, but a lot of times it's not. Life is not linear. We go from here to back here, and then back a little bit, then up forward, then up, then down. It's that way all the time. So we face difficult things in life, and the one of the purposes of my newsletter is to encourage people. I
yeah,
don't know what everybody's going through, but I know what I go through. And people can relate to that when I write it down. So I love the first part of my newsletter is always a little bit of encouragement, some inspiration, a thought that I had, and it's all about life, which paintings about life. So I try to make it relevant.
yeah. Well, you do, and I can tell you from receiving them, your heart comes through, your soul comes through. They have a beautiful um, impression.
Thank
The
you.
message is always different, but the impression is always the same. So if someone's watching, if someone's a veteran out there or knows someone that thinks this might be something they want to do, or maybe it's someone that's always wanted to try their hand at art, how would they find you? Is there a website they can go to?
Um, the easiest way is Facebook. Just look up
Ah,
my name, Pauly Tamez. I've got Facebook, Instagram. My website is P and then my last name, Tamez, art.com. And I'm super, super easy to get hold of. You know, Google hides nothing. I don't hide
it's
anything.
so
You
true.
can find my phone number, my address. I'm super easy to find. I've got nothing to hide, so I just put it out there for everybody.
Well, I have a question I meant to ask you the other day. How did you get the name Polly? Was it a nickname? Is it your real name?
So my real name is Paul Edward, and Paul E.
E. Okay.
And my mom always used to call him. My mom called me Pauly. So I kind of grew up with that. Unless she was mad, then she called me Paul Edward. So the only people that call me Paul Edward anymore, she's gone, but the IRS still calls me that. But I've gone by Pauly for a long time.
Okay. I wondered if there was a story behind that. It's not a
Yeah.
common name. At least I haven't seen it
Yeah.
very often at all. Well, I really appreciate you taking the time to share your story. If I get the courage one of these days, I can't even draw stick figures that look good. So
You know, here's the thing, Tanji. We all have a heart. And the last three letters of heart is art. We all have art in us. And I don't know how many times I've heard people tell me that, but I put a brush in their hand and I tell them, here's the color, put it like this. And within an hour or so, they've got a beautiful painting. I teach people all the time. I teach the seniors at the senior center how to paint. And there's always somebody new in the class. I've never held a brush in my hand before. I don't know how to paint. And I tell them, just do what I tell you to do. And they paint a beautiful painting. We
Wow.
all have that in us. You just need to have somebody show you how to do it.
I guess so. You might find I may be the one exception to all the students you've had.
But I've got no straight lines and no stick people in my painting. So you're safe.
So maybe we're on some neutral ground there.
Yep.
Well, great. Well, great. I love getting your newsletters. Please keep those coming. And I would encourage anybody watching, even if you're not interested in taking an art class, they might provoke a little bit of curiosity in you, but they're always encouraging. And
And you can register on my website for the newsletter. So there's a
Okay.
link on there to register for my newsletter.
Okay, great. Pauly, thank you so much for sharing your work and your story.
Thank you, Tanji.
Get social with us. Follow us on Instagram at Goodtaste TV.